Welcome, everyone, to the Inspirational Businesswoman Show, where it is my delight to make sure that you receive a goldmine of inspirational tips, strategies, and advice from inspirational businesswomen in the know. And today we have such a gal, and I want to just point her out to you once again. Her name is Andrea Page. And we're going to be discussing, I think, something that's very important to everyone, and that is the power of the mind in health and healing. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here because I know your time is valuable, and that you are taking the time to be here today tells me that you are interested in how you can enhance your health and healing. And Andrea's got some great advice, tips, and strategies for us. I'm looking forward to getting started. But first, I'm going to play the preview trailer. And while you're watching that, it would be so terrific if you would help spread the word to people that you know could benefit by Andrea's information. Let them know about this broadcast so they can get the benefits you're getting as well. So thanks so much for being here, and we're going to get started right after the preview. So go ahead, help spread the word. Here we go. All right, you see what a treat you are in for today. And I want to thank you. Whether you're here live or in replay, please let us know that you're here. Tell us your name and where you're viewing from. We would so appreciate that. Now, if you have questions for Andrea, make sure that you add those to the comment section, and we'll be sure to answer those for you again, whether live or during replay. All right, so first of all, let me tell you that today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a complimentary live stream broadcasting assessment. So if you're interested in learning how to take live stream broadcasting to the next level, take this assessment. It'll only take you a couple moments. All you need to do is text pound success to 775-800-4179. And if you're out of the country, simply go to hangout-marketing.com. All right, let's get started and bring Andrea in. Now, Andrea is known as the Cancer Alchemist, and her website is canceralchemy.com. She has an amazing story to share with you and how she started to work in this area. And today we're really going to emphasize the power of your mind in health and in healing. We're going to discuss what is energy medicine exactly and how beliefs impact your health. And that's more important today than ever. And finally, she's going to share 3 key strategies to jumpstart your recovery. So Andrea, come on in and say hi to our audience.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We're so thrilled that you're here, coming all the way from Costa Rica. You're the first person I have interviewed from Costa Rica, so I love expanding my international guest experts on the show. So thanks so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to share the information and to have a conversation.
Well, I think what you're sharing today is so, so very important. I think there's probably no one who would be viewing this who hasn't been impacted by cancer in some way, whether through their own health or someone that they know and care about. So I just think the message that you're bringing is going to be such a light for people is going to really uplift and inspire people because it helps them understand that they have more control maybe than they realized they
Definitely.
did. So let's start with your background because your story is fascinating and our viewers love stories. We're all evolving. And so why don't you go ahead and share with us just about your background and how you came to be doing what you're doing today?
Okay, so my background is in neuroscience. I got my undergraduate degree in neuroscience, so I've been studying the mind for more than 20 years now. And after I received my degree, I went on to study radiation oncology. And so I worked in radiation therapy in treatment, treating people with cancer for a number of years, for about 8 years. And I began to see patterns and ask lots of questions with patients, just really understanding the ones that were thriving and the ones that were doing really well. What was it they were doing different? And it set me on my own journey of exploration and discovery. And I learned about all these complementary integrative approaches that you could use in conjunction with conventional medicine. And I really found my passion in those realms. And so I decided about 5 years ago, I decided to leave my career and start in holistic medicine, and started working and learning about that and working with clients individually. And it has been an amazing journey, and just so many beautiful modalities that people can use to really access their own internal power. I am all about personal empowerment and giving people the tools and strategies, guiding them, supporting them to discover their own innate abilities to heal and to regain health and wellness.
You really nailed it. Their own innate ability to heal. This is so important, just first of all, on a mindset,
Yes.
because if you don't have that sense of inner power, that you do have an innate ability to heal, that it's actually, isn't it, wouldn't you say, your body's natural instinct to do so?
Absolutely. But from a young age, in my experience, I feel like intuition is not cultivated in our society. And it's something that can be cultivated and nurtured. And so that's part of the process that I work when I work with clients is helping them tap into that and really nurturing it and learning to trust yourself and taking back your power in terms of making choices, that informed choices that really are that benefit you.
Yeah, I agree with you that intuition seems to need to be cultivated in this day and age. And yet, I would suggest that we are all naturally intuitive. And if we really checked in with our small, little, tiny self when we came into the world, it probably came right along with us, didn't it?
Absolutely. Yes. And
Uh,
when you combine the power of the mind, accessing our mindset, and really cultivating healthy thoughts, positive thoughts, in conjunction with the intuition, it's amazing. Very powerful.
Well, and we're going to get into that, I know, in much more depth in just a moment. But I want to pause for a moment because you had mentioned to me a story or an experience you had while you were practicing radiation oncology. I think it was with a gentleman that was really created an aha moment for you, kind of what I call as, what is that deciding moment that really turned the tables for you and had you start to redirect your learning process in a different way? You want to share that story with our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. So I had already been on the journey of research, learning about nutrition and different therapies to use for cancer healing, natural cancer healing. And I started my own side research project asking questions to patients that were really doing well with minimal side effects during the treatment. And I had this one gentleman who had stomach cancer, which is normally quite a toxic treatment because the stomach is so sensitive that radiation damages the cells of the stomach, the lining of the cells of the stomach. And many patients can't eat, they have difficulty digesting. And with this gentleman, he was flying through treatment. He came in every day, he was smiling, he was not losing weight, he was maintaining his nutrition. And so I asked him one day, like, what are you doing that is different? Because you are thriving, and I've never seen anybody thrive in this particular treatment. And he shared with me that he had he had optimized his nutrition. He cut out dairy, he cut out gluten, he was focused on fruits and vegetables, superfoods. He had really done his research, and he was implementing these tools. And he had maintained exercise. He just had lifestyles that were really nurturing his body during this experience, and very minimal side effects. And it was really an aha moment for me that validated that I was on the right path in terms of me transitioning away from the therapy, radiation therapy, into more holistic medicine. And so that was a pivotal moment in my life that really set me on this journey, which is amazing.
Well, I love that you're emphasizing that you noticed something that was so unusual with all the other patients that you had been treating. And that was that he was thriving during therapy rather than struggling. I think that's just such a powerful statement in of itself, because you certainly noticed people every single day. You went through a variety of people in your work, and to notice that this man stood out and then emphasized to you that he had made other significant changes, lifestyle changes in his life. So it just reinforced what you said. You had chosen
Absolutely.
to start exploring. So, I believe these instances come into our life for reasons. And if we pay attention to them, this is going into the intuitive part, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
intuitively, you felt and discovered and were nudged in the direction of going deeper into lifestyle changes and mindset for improving health. So, everything we're talking about today not only is reflective of how you can treat yourself if you discover that you're ill with cancer or anything else, but how you can um, change maybe your behaviors when you're already in health, but to enhance where you're already at. Correct?
Absolutely. And prevention is the best medicine, is what they say. And a lot of these tools and strategies can be used even just to improve our health and our wellness, and to prevent illness. We can, even in business, I apply a lot of these mindsets and these beliefs to my business
I love it.
and
All
share
right.
that
So,
with
do
them.
you all hear that? What she's going to share with you today applies to business as well as health
Yes.
and energy and life balance. So, let's get started, Andrea. What is energy medicine?
Okay, energy medicine is, in my belief and in my particular niche, it is about harnessing subtle energies that we have in our body. So we know this maybe as chi or prana. We are all energetic beings, and we all have these frequencies. Our organs all have particular frequencies. And so energy medicine is about tapping into this subtle energy body within ourselves and improving the flow. So there's so many wonderful modalities that can do this: yoga, qigong, breath work, even mindset stuff. It's all cultivates this, increases our energy, and cultivates a really beautiful energy field within ourselves, and that we share that with other people. We say these things, or we feel someone's energy. That is real. That is quantum physics, and that has really exploded in the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, our awareness about this subtle energy body and how to use it to heal our bodies, to increase our health and our wellness.
Yeah, I know. I started practicing yoga at the age of 20. Giving things away here, that's over 50 years. I think that I have always noticed that when I'm in that flow, I do feel a significant energy shift. It is something that is uplifting, enlivening, I think is maybe the word for it. And as I think you would say, you have a movement of chi energy in your body that sort of harmonizes when you do some of these type of activities. So as you say, there's lots of modalities available to people. How does one determine what might be the best modality for them?
Well, when I work with a client, it's about personal empowerment. So it's about finding what works for you. So I might make suggestions to try different modalities or different therapies. And it's really about their journey of self discovery to find what resonates with them. And although I do recommend breath work and meditation for all of my clients and for everyone in general, because it's very grounding and it really helps balance and center our mind and our bodies. But again, it's very unique to the individual. So it's about finding what is working for you, what's resonating for you, and something that is sustainable that they will continue to practice over years.
Yeah, I think that that makes sense because we're all unique. We all resonate with certain things more than others. I think I tried Tai Chi and it just not for me. I stayed with yoga. That was what was right for my particular body. So,
Right.
so you're working with people from Costa Rica. I'm going to stay with this topic a little bit about the modalities and energy medicine. And how are you working with them to help support them in changing their lifestyle and using energy medicine to increase their own personal energy? So, how do you work with people?
So I work with people one-on-one. We work via video calls or voice calls, whatever they feel comfortable with. And it's really about, and we'll discuss this later on in the interview with the strategies, but it's really about them getting clear about what they want. So we discover the vision and the direction. Because often in my experience with people that are going through cancer treatment or have a cancer diagnosis, they stop thinking about the future. But it's such a vital component of healing because we have something to work towards, we have something to look forward to, we have milestones and we have celebrations along the way. And so that's creating this big vision of what is it that you really want, and then finding those components to support that vision. So when I start working with a client, we do a lot around optimizing environment. So this is a holistic integrative approach with mind, body, and spirit in mind. So we begin with optimal nutrition, some supplementation, and practical lifestyle elements like quality sleep, stress management, incorporating movement and exercise. And then we transition more into mindset, beliefs, and really harnessing that positivity in our lives, because cancer can be a stressful diagnosis for many people. And it's easy to fall into, I don't want to say victim mentality, but woe is me, or why did this happen to me, where we can channel that into, okay, this is where I'm at, where can I go, what can I learn from this experience, what is the gift in this experience. And when I work with clients, I see these massive transformations within themselves and their relationships, within their business, within their life. And so it's really an opportunity to take something that's challenging and really create something that's beautiful and empowering.
Yeah,
And
I was just
and
going to
then
say, I think empowering is really the word. So go ahead. I don't want
yes,
to interrupt that, but empowerment is so important with cancer because I think it's one of the first things people feel a loss of when they're
yes,
diagnosed. Go ahead.
yes, absolutely. With the diagnosis, it's all the power goes to the oncology team, and they're making decisions about your life and your treatment. And this is everybody, you fit into this box, and this is the type of treatment that everybody gets. And there's not a lot of dialogue that happens with the patient and their family and the oncology team. That's not to say that's everywhere, but certainly that has been my experience. And so it's about, even if you choose to take conventional treatments, what are the things that you can do to support you in this journey? And there are so many things that we can do for personal empowerment. And it's about making informed choices and coming from a place of empowerment and love rather than coming from a place of fear.
I love that, coming from a place of empowerment and love. And I think that really moves us into the second topic. And that is, how do beliefs impact your health? Not only your health if you have not been diagnosed with something, because I think that's important to our viewers, but of course if you've been diagnosed with a disease such as cancer.
Yes, beliefs are very important, and they actually drive so many of our actions, our behaviors, our thoughts, our emotions. The beliefs are actually the fundamental core of who we are. And what we don't often realize is that a lot of our beliefs are in place by the time that we're 7. So we've modeled this from our parents, from our childhood, and we carry these forward into adulthood without the awareness that we even chose these beliefs. And so that is a part of the work that I do with my clients, is understanding what our beliefs are, identifying self-limiting beliefs, and then creating more positive, uplifting, empowering beliefs that are going to support us, again, with the vision and the direction that we're moving in. And this is important in business as well, because we have these conversations going on in our mind all of the time. Is it cultivating positivity and forward momentum in your business? I mean, I use these strategies all the time in my life and in my business and with clients, and
I,
it's fundamental.
I agree. And I also agree because many people know that I was a clinical hypnotherapist for many years and
Of
worked
course.
with what these underlying belief systems that are really perceptions. I call them misperceptions in most cases that hold people back or establish an energy pattern or a response pattern that is not supportive of someone's highest well-being. So let's get a little more, let's dig in here a little deeper on the beliefs, because I'd love, again, some examples of what has helped people make big transformations in their health because of a shift that they made in belief. Can you give us some ideas on that?
Sure. So when I start working with a client, we don't necessarily jump into beliefs right away, but I'm paying attention to the words that they're using, to the conversations they're having with themselves. What are the things that they're saying about themselves, to get a really good understanding of maybe where they could use more support. And I have this client that I've been working with for a couple of months. And when I first met him, he was very honest. He said, I hate change. I don't like change in my life. And I said, okay, interesting. Right. And now we are 6 months later. And he said to me actually a few weeks ago, he says, change is not so bad. But we've been working on this mindset and we've been making these gradual changes over time. And he has come to see that with less resistance, there's so much more of an opening and an acceptance and a willingness. And so just paying attention to the language that we use and being aware of even of our beliefs without judgment, because I think that that's important to just, bring our awareness to maybe some beliefs that we're having, and then say, oh, that's interesting. How could this be different? And helping them transition through more empowering beliefs within our mind.
So the key word I heard there was resistance. And people often don't know that they're even resisting anything, do
Yes.
they? And
No.
so just to discover that, yeah, I was resisting, therefore, you resist. And there's a lot of what you would call, I guess, repelling going on, which does not help their energy because it's very negative in that regard. So, how does somebody make the shift in decision? I know you're going to share some strategy, so maybe we're saving that for the next part. But I guess how does, and you're talking about business as well. So let's explore this a little bit around business. How do we overcome our own resistances to success in business? How does this apply?
So I feel around resistance is that sometimes we don't even realize that we have the resistance. And it's, again, tapping into the intuition of what we feel in our body. And I think in our society, we often, and this ties in with the emotions and the beliefs, but we may feel some restriction in our body, and we're really good at like pushing that down and putting the lid on and not experiencing it. But in that moment, if you just allowed yourself to fully process the emotion, because often the resistance gives the emotion the energy. Whereas if we allow to just feel the emotion, feel the resistance, and allow it to pass through our body, the energy will dissipate. And then we can come to a more peaceful place and then make decisions from that place of grounding and peacefulness and confidence is really
I
ultimately what
love
comes out of
that.
it.
So, oftentimes in society today, it seems as though when we have those uncomfortable feelings, that sense of resistance, that a negativity, a challenge like we are all experiencing right now, it's the tendency seems to be to want to push it down, to want to dampen it, to not experience that as a real authentic emotion. So
Yes.
what you're suggesting, rather than using all these things we do to suppress feelings, let them come up, So you give yourself and your body and your mind a chance to process them. Otherwise, it's as though you're resisting the resistance in some ways. Is
Yes,
that right?
absolutely. And I think as humans, especially in this world where we're so connected to social media and entertainment, is that we are really great at distracting ourselves.
Yeah.
And so really creating more focus, and again, this is about mindset, is creating more focus and direction within ourselves. And I like to use the word discipline. Not everybody likes that word. I don't see it in a negative connotation, but it's about becoming disciplined about ourselves. How are we nurturing our bodies? How are we nurturing our minds? How are we nurturing our souls? And really, when we start to tap into those and create awareness around that and establish habits that support that, then we can be in this place of harmony and balance within our bodies and our minds.
Yeah, and I just feel like there's so much negativity out there. I mean, if you get into the news cycle, you know that you are bombarded with negative information. And what do you suggest around that?
Well, personally, I suggest to my clients that they don't watch the news. My tagline is feed your mind as you feed your body.
I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, so
So
here we
however
go. We're
you're
going to
feeding it with
pause
an
for a
optimal
moment. We're going to pause
okay.
on that one for a moment because I think that's a pack your bag moment right there. And I like to reemphasize. So feed your mind as you would feed your body. So start
Yes.
getting clear on the best way to feed and nurture your body, and then start feeding and nurturing your mind in similar ways. So yeah, good point. Okay, so do you have a few strategies that you would like to share with us that are going to help jumpstart your recovery, whether it be cancer or anything else that is impacting your health? We'd love to hear about those.
Okay, so my first strategy is again about vision and direction. So it is, what is it that you want in your life to create? I dream big. I live in Costa Rica. I have a beautiful life, and I think that anybody can have their dream life, even with a diagnosis of cancer, even if you're struggling in your business. I believe that it's possible. And so with the vision and the direction, we work around that. We work around the beliefs, we work around the thoughts that help you connect emotionally to that vision and that direction and your dream, and then we work towards achieving that. And so if you can conceive it in your mind, if this is Napoleon Hill, if you can conceive it, then you can achieve it. And that is the foundation of the work that I do with my clients. And it is also what we focus on in the early parts of the retreats that I lead. And from there, we come from a place of understanding about ourselves, and also a place of connecting in a really positive emotional way to what it is that we want. And so that would be strategy number one, would be the vision and the direction. Strategy number two is really assessing our lifestyle, so optimizing our environment. And we go through all the key elements physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. What are the elements? What are the things that you need in your life to really bring in all of these factors that contribute to our health and our wellness? And that ties in. So once we've established those, then we create a healing plan with clients, and it's all client led. They are discovering these things. I am just asking questions and they're doing a self-discovery. So it's very much about personal empowerment, not me telling them what they should be doing, them discovering what they need to support themselves. And I just provide love and guidance and support. That's my role ultimately. Yeah. And then the third strategy would be about taking these elements and establishing habits, cultivating the intuition, really mastering our mind and our emotions. And so that's kind of the core of the Cancer Alchemy business that I lead.
So mastering the mind and our emotions. First of all, I'm just going to review it. Dream big. There's no dream. If you can conceive it, you can experience it. So dream big. Do not stop dreaming. Even if you have something that's interrupting your life flow at the moment, still keep dreaming. And then assessing your lifestyle. And you, as you say, you're guiding them to determine what shifts they need to make there, aren't you? So that's where I
Yes.
like that you really take this empowerment um, process to give it back to them by asking questions and finding out what really resonates with them, so that they can decide what shifts they want to make, so they can decide of all the different modalities that you might offer as an option, which one again, I guess I would say, increases their energy, that they think about it and say, yeah, I could do that. That actually feels good when I think about it. And
Yes.
then third, the empowerment process of making the shift. So of all of these, what do you think is foundational to this whole process of health and healing? I know that's a big question.
Yeah, it is a big question. What is foundational? I would say our beliefs and our power of our minds is foundational. And I do a lot of mindset stuff work with clients, and I feel that the research has shown that our thoughts can impact our physiology. It can either increase or decrease our immune system. It affects our energetic body, our chi, our flow. It impacts our digestive system. The foundation for me is absolutely mindset, the power of the mind, and beliefs. Those are three things, I guess, but
Yeah,
they
I
all
mean,
tie in.
I just wanted you to say it again because I think, it's one of the things that that impacts each and every one of us, and yet we don't always pay attention to it. We don't always, and I'm just talking personally, that's why I'm saying the we, but it's me too. We don't always pay attention to how our thoughts might be impacting our health. And I've always thought that if you discover, if you realize your thoughts are pretty kind of cruddy, I will say to myself, you need to check up from the neck up and get rid of that stinking thinking, because it
Love
can
it.
be pervasive. It,
It
may
can.
start up here, but as you say, it affects our entire body, our immune system, our digestive tract. Um, it affects our relationships, and as you said,
Absolutely.
also energetically, we radiate that energy. So if we find that we're making negative statements or even thinking negative thoughts that make us feel more down, our first responsibility is to check in and make a shift. Even if, to me, I would say to myself, cut out that stinking thinking. And, I'd like to brush it off my shoulder, literally,
Yes.
to physically get rid of it. And then I guess the other thing that really resonates with me about what you're saying is that we do have to pause and give ourselves permission to feel it and process it. So those are two different things that, in a way, are a little opposing. Can you help me with that?
I think that they're synergistic, because as you work on as you work on the thoughts and the beliefs, it cultivates, it rebalances. It all feeds into one another. What I was going to share about the thoughts and the beliefs, like it's really important to come from a place of non-judgment with ourselves, that not to be hard on ourselves if we have negative thinking, because it's actually how our brains are hardwired. I think the statistics are like 95% of our thoughts are recycled, and the majority of them, 80%, are negative. And so
Whoa.
this is innate within us, and so it takes practice and patience and courage, and coming from a place of non-judgment, that we can just bring awareness to our thoughts. And as we do that, then we can shift to creating more empowering beliefs. So it does seem opposing, but I feel like it's synergistic. And as you work on one, you become more aware of the other, and they sort of feed into each other.
Thank you. That's helpful to me. Because there's sometimes I beat up on myself, and you're just saying, be non-judgmental. I can talk today.
Radical compassion
Radical
for
compassion.
ourselves and others.
I love that. That's a beautiful term too. Radical compassion. All right. Well, you have something special for our viewers, and you also you do also offer retreats, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about the retreat, and then I'm going to share the gift with everyone. And don't worry, you're going to get it also in the link, so you can click on it very easily. But for those of you who are just listening, I want you to hear how to get her gift as well. So, Andrea, talk to us a little bit about the kind of retreats that you do hold.
So I lead cancer healing retreats in Costa Rica, in this beautiful, luxurious hotel that overlooks the ocean with the jungle behind. And it's really about immersion in nature and reconnecting with ourselves. So we offer organic food that's locally sourced. We have yoga, meditation, breath work, sound therapy. So we are integrating a lot of energy medicine through physical movement, through breath work. The sound therapy happens twice a day, which is amazing. We have qigong, time at the beach, hikes to waterfalls. So it's meant to be an adventure, an adventurous spirit within ourselves and also within our environment, and allowing us to just really tap into what we need to nurture our body and our minds and our souls, and having fun.
It sounds wonderful. Is it open to people who don't have cancer?
Well, it's actually, there's two components to it. So it's meant to be for anyone that has a diagnosis or has had cancer in the past, and perhaps they're struggling with fear of recurrence. So we work through a lot of these through the processes, through emotional healing, to come from a place of peace within our life and know that we are empowering ourselves and that we can handle any challenges that come up. And the second part of the retreat is that we always encourage people to bring a caregiver or a friend, or support person, because often those people are also lacking in their self-nourishment. So it's an opportunity for individual healing, but then healing together that can really cultivate a beautiful relationship between those people as well.
Oh, it sounds absolutely wonderful. So if you all are interested in finding out more about it, you can do so by checking out Andrea's gift. And I'm going to bring that image up, Andrea, while you tell them a little bit about it and why they should go take advantage of it. Here is the gift address. Go ahead, Andrea.
So the gift that I'm offering is called Empowered Healing, and it's a 5-step transformation process. And so it goes through the 5 basic steps that I use with clients in a coaching capacity. And it really gives you, it's the crux of what you need to do your own healing. Obviously, I'm a big fan of support and guidance, but also for any self-starters or people that want to get started on their journey, think about things in a different way, even just to have a different perspective of how we can treat and manage cancer. This guide will provide uh, our process at Cancer Alchemy, as well as my philosophy on how you can empower your own healing and tap into the innate ability for your body to rebalance and reharmonize.
Well, I love it. And all you need to do to pick up Andrea's gift is go to shinetips.com/Andrea gift, shinetips.com/Andrea gift. And you'll be able to pick that up and start, as she said, if you're a self-starter, this is a great way to get started. And of course, Andrea will keep in touch with you as far as retreat offerings and other things that she has as well. So, Andrea, I just so appreciate you taking the time to be here today. I love that we can communicate across the miles from here in Reno, Nevada, all the way down to beautiful Costa Rica. And I'm just going to ask you if you could leave our viewers with one final thought, one thing that kind of summarizes, cancer alchemy and what we can take home from all that you have shared with us today. What might that one thought be?
My thought would be to sit and contemplate the things that we've talked about, and to begin to cultivate the thoughts and the beliefs around what we've talked about in terms of accessing our own power, using the power of our own mind. Because we are bombarded with so much information from other people and media, but we have all of the answers within ourselves. And so I always encourage people to start there. Listen to what your heart and your mind are telling you, and intuitively, if you feel that that is right for you, if that's resonating with you, then to lean into that and explore it some more.
Great. So lean in and empower yourself and touch base with your intuition, which is all part of that empowerment. Andrea, I want to thank you so much for being here. And again, for all of you that want to pick up her gift, all you need to do is go to shinetips.com/Andrea gift And it is your way to start empowering yourself in this field of health and healing. Thank you, Andrea, once again. I look forward to hearing more stories from you and your success. And with that, we'll both say bye-bye for now.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for watching today. Do you know someone who would be a great guest for our show? Or would you like to be a guest on the Inspirational Businesswoman Show? Let's shine the spotlight on your expertise. We'll share your story while offering tips, strategies, and advice to our viewers. Expert interviews are a great way to build your reputation as the go-to expert. Go to shinetips.com/IBWS to apply today. Women are waiting for your message, and I can't wait to interview you.